we as women, how can we expect men to be accountable when we are not holding our peers accountable for the damage that has been done?
That's right.
Now here's the thing, you know, and I'm going to ask you guys a tough question, and hopefully Demetria will get back in here for this one because I want her to get this in too. You know, you guys are basically saying many, maybe not all, I don't know a number, you haven't given a number of what percentage, but there's enough Black women out there who have issues that the brothers are finding it hard to find women that they could create families with, sweet women, women who are cooperative, feminine, that they can work with. They're basically saying, we can't find what we want here in America. What argument should I present to them to tell them, okay, I know that these women aren't ready, but you should wait for these Black women anyway to get themselves ready? Is that an argument that you would ask? Would you ask them to wait? Because that's what a lot of Black Americans say. Hey, you should, even though we have these special set of circumstances, so you just need to wait before you get your family. So get you one of these ladies, clean her up, help her out, get her together mentally and also sometimes physically. Is that what you're telling these young men to do? Or what?
You know, just like young Black girls, they're raised up to, oh, well, man got to have this. He's got to be tall. He's got to be educated. He's got to have money. Young men need to start hearing that too. So I do not advocate young men to wait on women who are overweight. I do not advocate young men to wait on young ladies who have a bunch of babies. You know, the young men that I mentor, they know that I have a choice word for these babies, what are used in the Bible. These are bastards, you know, because they have no fathers, you know. So I do not advocate men to wait for young ladies to get it together. I think they should get someone of their equal, that they're compatible with, that they can grow with and grow their foundation. A lot of these young ladies who are overweight have a whole lot of children, you know, and all this going on. It's just a whole lot of drama that they just don't need. They need to be enjoying their lives with someone who are of equal compatibility with them, and that's on the same mind level, spirituality, physically fit.
All right, so Kimberly, you have a son, so I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you want one of these young women that we see in the Black community? Do you want one of them raising your grandchildren?
No. Dennis, you and I grew up.
I'm sorry. Hold on. That wasn't the answer that I thought you was gonna like work around it, and maybe there's some people and there's some good ones out there. You said no. Let me ask that question again, because do you want one of these young ladies in the Black community that we have now raising your grandchildren? That's the question I asked. I'm ready now. Go ahead.
No.
Oh, wow.
Dramatization.
After a car wreck, you may have to fight with a highly trained insurance company rep whose job is to knock your damaged claim down and out. It's a bad idea to enter the ring alone against a trained boxer, and it could be a bad idea to fight against a big insurance company by yourself. When the bell rings, Attorney Dennis Sperling will be there to fight for your rights. If you've been seriously injured in a car wreck, call me, Attorney Dennis Sperling, at 866-529-2444. That's 866-529-2444.
Or there's still going to be those eyes, even though, you know, segregation is over. Down south, people still rarely mix. You see, you understand what it's like to be driving down the street thinking maybe I don't have my driver's license. A cop pulls up behind you. You know how that feels. You know how it feels. If he looks in the window and he sees you're Black, you might get tailed for a few blocks. He might pull you over. That feeling of tension that you have, irrespective of the fact that you're a doctor, irrespective of the fact that I'm a lawyer, we all fit the stereotype. So my question to you is, Doc, how did it feel in Brazil? You can speak generally. You go down there, describe what you saw, describe how it felt to be around all those Black and brown people, and you just blended right in. Go ahead and go. That's the first thing I want you to deal with.
Hey, what's up, everybody? If you appreciate the format and you appreciate what we're doing here, then make sure you contribute to the Cash App. Make sure you contribute to the PayPal. Make sure you donate to the Super Chat. It's only you and your contributions that keep this thing going. Thanks.
And we got into the city, we got into Copacabana. I did not feel the type of surveillance. I did not feel the kind of hostile environment that we are accustomed to here in the United States, bro. I mean, I felt at home. I felt like I belonged there, like I was raised there, man. I mean, seriously, you know what I mean? And I know that, you know, there are no perfect, you know, environments and what have you, bro. But, bro, I did not feel like I was a stranger, a foreigner, like I was unwelcome, like I was out of place, like I did not belong. And I felt that way the entire time I was there. I was there 8 days, and you know, I traveled with about 30 black men, and we were there that whole time, man. And I did not feel like a fish out of water, not at one moment, bro. I felt like I had been there before. You know what I mean? And yeah, it was a stress-free feeling.
Just to lay a foundation for everybody, out of around 191 million Brazilians, 91 million identify themselves as white, 82 million as mixed race, and 15 million as black. So technically, it's, you know, this is, you might have people who are white, they call themselves white, but in actuality they're mixed. People can say what they want to say, but the bottom line is you have almost 100 million people who are of African descent.
Oh man, it was a wonderful feeling. Rather, it was overwhelming. Again, man, it felt like home, bro. I mean, there was no anxiety or worry on my part. And I tell you, man, that stuff, it gets into your soul, man, because you feel it. And I mean, it's just rhythmic. I mean, and so, you know, you're up in there. I'm up in Black Rio, man, and I'm like, you know what? I mean, this is a black culture, black experience. They have their own thing, man.
But the average person might not understand what you mean. A typical American thinks America is the center of the world. We're the point of focus. You have our lovely ladies here will tell you they're the most beautiful women in the world. There are no other women more beautiful than them. They will tell you the rest of the world is copying our hip hop style and saggy pants. And they will tell you all these things, many of whom never even left the country, because only 2% of black people have passports. So they've never actually been anywhere else. So in their mind, we're the center of the universe. So please explain to them what you mean when you say nobody cares about what we're doing here in America. Basically, we're not the point of reference.
We are not the standard.
The United States, let me tell you what we have here. We have cold weather. We have mean, ugly, racist people. We have a hostile environment. And we're still getting over this whole Donald Trump phenomenon and everything that happened 20 years leading up to that. They might want to come visit. They might want to go shopping. They might want to visit California, go to Disneyland. But then they want to go back home.
name is Dennis Sperling. If you've been involved in an accident, call me and I'll fight for you. I'm not an actor or a celebrity spokesperson. I'm a real trial lawyer, and I've appeared before real judges and real juries on behalf of people with serious injuries. So when I say I'll fight for you, I mean it, and I'll back it up. If you've been hurt in an automobile or 18-wheeler accident, contact me toll free at 866-529-2444, and I'll fight for your rights.
Hi, my name is Dennis Sperling. I'm not a lawyer, but my daddy is. Yeah. If you've been hurt in a car accident, call my daddy. No need to scream and yell like a little kid. Yeah, no yelling. My daddy will fight for your rights. Yeah, fight for your rights. If you've been involved in a car accident, call my daddy, returning Dennis Sperling.
Hello, I'm attorney Dennis Sperling. If you've been injured in a car wreck, call me, 713-229-0770.
Call my daddy.
And they came up with a scam, which was, look, all of these black people at the bottom who want to see something about themselves appeal to their lowest common denominator. So instead of ideating on black men getting ahead, having good jobs, going to college, doing all of this, which was practical because it kept you from getting a 1A and an all expense paid vacation to sunny Nam. Well, they started glorifying pimps, hoes, drug dealers, gangsters, murderers, thieves, the whole 9 yards of dysfunction, and they've been on that ever since. I saw this, like, for example, when I was the public defender, my white subordinates had a real problem. Some of them were going into the black neighborhoods and interviewing black defendants and black witnesses. All this stuff everybody's worked up about police killings.
Yeah.
LAPD killed that many. All of them you've heard about over the last 4 or 5 years. They killed that many in every 1 or 2 week period.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was brutal.
And you were the valedictorian. You were the valedictorian of Dorsey High School. Now, I graduated from Manual Arts High School, which is up the street on King Boulevard. I know where it is. And you graduated from Dorsey. I was supposed to be going there, but I wound up transferring to Dorsey. How did you survive the distractions of LA in the 1960s with everything that was going on? And if you can describe that. It was hard. Yes, sir. It was hard. And still to this day, I cuss.
Hey, if you're enjoying the content here at Dennis Sperling Unfiltered, make sure you support it by sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And also, hit that little notification bell in the corner so that you'll get notice of each and every one of our live feeds.
Hi, my name is Dennis Sperling. I'm not a lawyer, but my daddy is. Yeah. If you've been hurt in a car accident, call my daddy. No need to scream and yell like a little kid. Yeah, no yelling. My daddy will fight for your rights. Yeah, fight for your rights. If you've been involved in a car accident, call my daddy, returning Dennis Sperling.
Hello, I'm attorney Dennis Sperling. If you've been injured in a car wreck, call me, 713-229-0770.
Call my daddy.
Hi, my name is Stephanie, and these are my 2 adorable and handsome sons. And that is my ex-husband, attorney Dennis Sperling. He practices personal injury law and will be more than happy to help you with claims arising from automobile accidents. He doesn't get paid unless you get paid. And as we first wives know, the more our ex-husbands get paid, the more we get paid. So let me help him help you. Call Mr. Sperling at 713-229-0770.
Call my daddy.
The recent hurricane has caused severe damage to homes.
Paid actor.
I will scream and I will holler. Then I'll scream and holler some more, saying absolutely nothing.
You have a choice in legal representation. In making that choice, do you want an attorney with a made-for-TV nickname to represent you in your serious car wreck?
I will grab, kick, and scream.
My name is Dennis Spurl. If you've been involved in a motor vehicle accident, contact toll free 866-529-2444. The choice is yours. What's up, everybody? This is Dennis Spurl, your favorite personal injury lawyer. And I want to talk to you all about a subject that has been discussed over and over again, but I've never quite hit on it, and that is dating single mothers. Now, I've dated single mothers both in the United States and in other countries, and I've had some experience with that. And then on top of that, my mom, and I kind of see the drawbacks of dating single mothers. From the perspective of the child. In addition to that, my ex-wife and my child's mom are all. Sorry about that. I had to take that call. But either way, so I've dated women who are single mothers. My mother was a single mother. I have an ex-wife. I have a baby mama who's a single mother. And then, I was raised kind of by a single mother. Not totally, but because basically I was adopted off. Long story. But the bottom line is there are some drawbacks that people don't talk about. And I'm not going to sit here and bash single mothers. I'm not going to say that this is the ultimate sin. I'm not going to say it's a sole cause for all the issues that we face in the United States or around the world. But what I am going to do is just point out some practical issues associated with dating single moms. First of all, as a man who has children himself, I have 3 sons, for those of you who follow me, I know that I can't treat someone else's child the way I treat mine. Meaning that as a father, I'm 100% dedicated to my children, their well-being. And as a matter of fact, I explain to my children that to me, they are an extension of me, meaning I will do for them whatever I will do for myself, whether it be sacrifice, or if I dress nice, they dress nice. Whatever I have, they have. Whatever I own, they own. My time is their time. I serve my children. Like, I'm telling you, like, I serve my children like it's my second job. I'm 100% dedicated to it, to them, for the time that they're children, because I know they're only going to be children for a short time, and then the rest of their life, they're adults. So it's my job to make sure that they have this firm footing and foundation. So when I say I'm 100% down, I'm all in, 10 toes down for my kids. And I know that I can't do that for some other person's child. I don't have that connection. And there's nothing emotional there, and you can learn to love a child, but even logically, I can't see myself sacrificing even my life for someone else's child, and before you get to that point, the money that it takes to raise children, the time and energy it takes to get that money, I can't see myself doing that for somebody else's child and enjoying it like I do for my own. So I know that would make me as a man unhappy. And I'm not saying there aren't people who don't have successful relationships, but I know that I would be cheating that child out of what they really need. And that is a father who really, really is down from, like I'm down for my father and like I'm down for my children as a father. The thing is, a lot of women think that they can just take one man and put him in place of another man. They think that they can have children by this one man, and if it doesn't work out with him, they could just get a man and just replace the man that is the father of the children with any old random man. And it doesn't work like that. You can't just mix and match children with men. Sometimes it doesn't work. And I'm going to draw from my own experiences. My sons are now dealing with the fact that their mom is dating. I believe she's had a couple of guys. She's different than me. I've only brought one woman around.
my children in the past 10 years since we've been divorced, and that's my child's mother. And that was only after we agreed to get engaged and I wanted to introduce them. She's not apparently done that. They figured out that, you know, who they like and who they don't like. But bottom line is, you know, that's her business, not mine. I just operate in a different way. I didn't want them to get attached to anybody, and I just don't want anybody really around my kids like that. But bottom line is, so she's trying to get them to kind of like this new guy that she's dating, who I'm thinking she's serious about him. From what I hear about him, he's a decent guy, educated man. I don't know anything about him, but what she doesn't realize is you can't just put these boys in a room with some guy and think they're going to bond. It's just from a child's perspective, and having done this myself, my mother used to bring guys around. Some she would be with, some she would casually dating. After a while, they just all like, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, at a certain point, you're like, okay, here's just another one. Whatever. I'm not really trying to get cool with you. You'll be gone next year. Whatever. Wow, they just all like, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so nobody could ever, I was strong-willed enough that nobody could ever just force someone on me. And I had a strong enough relationship with my adopted father, who I thought was my father at the time, which changes the dynamic. I thought he was my father. I was told he was my father. He told me he was my father. The only person that was disputing that after a while was my mom. So bottom line is, I just didn't realize, like, whatever, who knows? Now I know. Of course, I recognize now that he's not my biological father. But my whole point was I had a strong enough bond with him that no other man could come in and take that bond. So you can't just mix and match kids. Sometimes kids don't want this other guy. They don't want him to try to feel. They might reject him. They might not like him. You know, and women have to understand, just because you like this person doesn't mean your children will like them. They'll tolerate them and they might not say anything about it. But at the end of the day, they don't really like him. You know, when my mom finally got married, I was 16. I had met the guy at 15. I was damn near grown. I was in LA. I was on an advanced track. It was just some other dude. So he was cool. We didn't really have a father-son relationship. We were just cool, you know. And so, you know, but I only was there 2 years and then I was gone. I was a grown man. I was out. I left. I went off to college. They had 3 new kids. At this point, it's been 25 years. They just got divorced. But, you know, so here we go about that. I'm getting text message and stuff from my office. So forgive me if I have to break up a minute. But, you know, and so that's from the perspective of the children. So the man is looking at it like, okay, these aren't my kids. I don't have those feelings for those kids. Logically, it makes no sense for me to break myself to take care of some other man's child, even though I love this woman. And so it's just not a good idea practically and financially. And then on top of that, you know, if you're living in a house with some other children and you have children and your children are getting treated one way and their children are getting treated another, whether it's good or bad, that's going to create animosity amongst the kids. And here's another thing. Am I going to be, I don't like disciplining other people's children. You see, I have a way in which I operate with my sons. We have a relationship. We have an agreement. We have a compact. If they don't do this, that, and the other, then we don't have a problem. Other people don't really have that understanding. The minute I get on my phone, I get 100 text messages, but other people don't really have that understanding with their children. I raise my sons in a certain way to be disciplined, hardworking, honest young men. And it makes my life a lot easier. If I brought another child into this household and his mother, would I be able to discipline that? Where is that? First of all, where is that child mentally? Like, is that child going to be susceptible to discipline? Because unless you get the kids early and you really
want to make sure you guys contribute to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. I will continue this rant. I know you guys like the rants. I've been digging up rants for you guys to listen to. We'll continue with this conversation afterwards. But you gotta go ahead and contribute to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. In addition to this, you guys know what to do. Once you get in, hit the thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up button and let me know you appreciate what I'm doing. Shout out to all my members. Big shout out to Volcanish. You see, I got Volcanish scrolling along the bottom of the screen right there. Shout out to Dark Star Plumbing. Big shout out to W. Alfonso. Who else? We got a new member in here somewhere. I forget the guy's name, but I'm gonna see it in a minute. But Damon J, thank you so much. Let me see here. Everybody, trying to give a shout out. Dark Star Plumbing, thank you so much. You guys contribute to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. Don't get so caught up into the message that you fit, so that you forget to contribute. So I'm going to let this keep going, and but make sure you contribute to the Super Chat. Hit the thumbs up button. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up button now, and we're back. Instill the fear of God in them before they turn 4 or 5 years old. You're going to have problems with those children from that point forward. You literally got to break them down just to get them to cooperate, and then they're not doing it because that's the way they were raised and brought up. They're doing it because they're afraid. So, you know, I believe in getting a child right from the beginning so they can grow up straight and strong. I don't believe in trying to correct their behavior and then they're always subject to rebel, because that's not something they're used to. And then there's resentment against you. In other words, I got this kid in my house. I can't discipline him. Okay, he's making my house, or she's making my house a living hell. I got these other kids who are looking at that and they're like, man, like, why does he get away with all that? You know, well, what's up with that? And then if I have a woman who's in the way of that, you know, it's like, it makes it even worse. And here's the other thing. I don't want to discipline your child. I just don't. I don't like disciplining my own children in a certain way. That's why I go heavy on the top end and I get them correct from the beginning. And so then when they get older, 12, 11, 13-year-old, it's not so much disciplining, it's so much guiding them. See, a lot of women, and this is what I noticed, you're very good at maintaining your children. You make sure they dress nice, look nice, they're well-fed. Well, not all people, but I would like to say. But, you know, that's might be over-exaggerating. Some people are not even good at maintaining their children. But for the point of this circumstance, for the point of this conversation, maybe we'll say you're good at maintaining the children, but you're not good at actually raising them, guiding them, teaching them how to be decent human beings. And that's hard. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of thought. I'm not willing to put all that into somebody else's children. And on top of that, it's too much trouble. And here's a financial aspect. This woman probably wouldn't be marrying me if she didn't expect me to contribute to her well-being and that well-being of that child. Like they say, it's a package deal. So if I'm sending my children to private school, I got to pay to send your child to private school. Is that what we got to do? And what am I doing with my money if not putting it towards my own children's best interest? So I'm spending $1,000, $2,000 for your kid to go to all these extracurricular activities like I'm spending mine. That's money that should be going to their college funds, or should be going to money that I would give them to put a down payment on their house when they get of age, or graduate school. You are literally forcing me to take away from my children's financial future to provide for your child. So not only are the emotions not there and the logic is not there, but you're also taking away the tangible benefits that I have been able to create in my lifetime that I'm supposed to give to my kids. Now, I'm not saying that you can't date single mothers. I'm just telling men who are thinking logically that it's just not a good idea, whether it is you have children as a father. At this point, I'm just not dating. You see what I'm saying? I got 3 sons. I'm raising them. Maybe after they get old enough and of age, maybe I'll consider dating again. Right now, you know, I don't really date seriously. I'm definitely not interested in getting married. And that has a lot to do with the fact that the marriage laws in the United States are so, you know, against the primary earner that it makes no sense for me to risk the chance of getting married and then, risk the chance, or getting married and risking the chance of divorce, and then having my income, my finances cut in half, and being forced to pay some person that I was married to all this money, which takes away from my children's future financial well-being. And it goes back to that. A lot of guys, you have a lot of things to say about, oh yeah, the kids are knocking on the door while you're trying to make love. I don't give a crap about that. I'm looking at it from tangible, logical reasoning. I cannot be the father to your child that your child's biological father should be. I cannot willingly finance, or logically, or feasibly is the word, finance your children's well-being and lifestyle like I do my own, period. It just, I can't do it. I cannot do it. I've tried today, because see, here's what's going to happen. The minute a woman starts saying something like,
well, you know, my son needs this, my son needs that. I'm like, well, where's his baby? Where's your father at? And when she starts saying I'm cheap, or I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, I'm gonna say, no, your baby daddy is cheap. And then we got a problem in the relationship. Because it's true. Your baby daddy, the one that left you, no, he's the one that's cheap. And now I'm the enemy now, right? Because I've basically told her the truth. I burst that bubble that I love you and my wallet and my heart are attached at the hip. It's not like that with me. I'm thinking very practical. Or the minute I say, look, your child is out of line, you need to discipline this child. I'm not going to do it. Or if I have to do it, then I'm being too harsh. And here's another thing. Kids lie. These kids could come in there, like let's say you got some kid coming there, he's telling his mama that you did something to him.
Make sure you contribute to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. I'm sure many of you guys have been through this. What have I gone over so far in this rant? First of all, I'm admitting to the fact that I cannot treat your child the way I treat my child. In other words, as the biological father of a parent, I know I have different feelings, different emotions, and different drives that push me to do more for my child than I could ever do for your child, a child that's not mine. Number two, I can't, you know, I can't discipline your child. And so if you got a child that's running wild in the house, he's going to disrupt the whole house. And here's another one I'm hitting on that people rarely ever do. These kids lie. How many stepdaddies have been accused of some sort of inappropriate behavior because their stepdaughter decided she didn't like him anymore? So now you got a 13, 14, 15-year-old girl who's saying my stepdaddy did this, that, and the other to me. And now what happens? You gotta deal with those allegations. You getting put out the house. You got the police investigating you. You got child protective services bearing down your back. You being relieved from your job. All because somebody else's little daughter is mad that you didn't let her go on a date with her boyfriend, or you didn't give her enough money to go. This is what we have to deal with. So this is why I'm telling you, these are all the reasons why dating a single mother is not a good idea. Big shout out to Dark Star Plumbing, a motorcycle, a muscle car, a mutual fund will never say you ain't my daddy. Right. You know what I'm saying? Electric Thinker said it's possible to share the same bond with another man's child in rare cases, but that's not how nature works. From my own experience, being in sync with your own kids is a natural part of biology, regardless of the fact that it's not popular. And you need to begin to say that, Electric Thinker. It's perfectly acceptable for you to say that and not feel ashamed of admitting the truth. So if you guys want me to continue doing this, make sure you contribute to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. Don't go light. You know, I spend a lot of time putting this stuff together. So make sure you contribute to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. All right, we're going to keep it going.
Or he's telling his baby, his father, or his grandmother, whoever, that you beat him too hard or you treat him unfairly. And now you got to have a silly ass conversation with some other adults about what goes on in your house, about the house where you pay the bills. I'm not going for it. I don't need that. And here's another thing. Anytime you have somebody else's child in the house and you have somebody else's baby mama, that's your woman, you got loose lips. She can't all the way be dedicated to you, because no matter what, she still have to have conversations with her child's father. That child is still going to have conversations with his father. So you basically have a binary intersection for the flow of information as to what goes on in and out of your house. See, in my house, my sons understand this is family business in here. What we go, where we go, what we do, how much money daddy makes, what else? What businesses I'm undergoing. We have roundtable discussions sometimes, and I put a few pictures up, videos up on Facebook and the internet where I take my sons to lunch and I explain to them, even though they're only 13 and 10 and the little one, he's 4, I explain to them what daddy's goals are, what my future ambitions are as far as finance, real estate. I talk to them about what I expect from them. That's family business. You see, I don't want that information to go to other places. Even things as like stock tips or how to run a business. I'm not here trying to share that information with somebody else's child. I'm not I know, you know, where my secret real estate is, where my stash of money is, right? That's not something that I want to have. I don't want somebody else who's not of my bloodline knowing where that is. And so, you know, when you got a woman who's had a baby by another man or 2 babies, I don't know, maybe she got 2 or 3 different child's father, whatever. She's always going to have communication with them. And even if it's just one conversation out of 1,000 where she gives away information that you don't like, that's still loose lips sink ships, man. You see what I'm saying? So basically what I'm saying, she can never be 100% all the way dedicated, loyal to, you know, the oath of silence that you may have in your house. We don't talk about that. I talk about a lot of stuff on the internet, but some areas I don't even touch because it's family business. And that's how family goes. What TV shows I might be planning, what businesses, where I got real estate, where my stock accounts are, what properties I have, what businesses I have overseas. Y'all don't know that. But if I had a woman in my house who had another man in her life that she was tied to biologically for this child, that man might end up knowing all my business like that. And that's just not good. There's an oath that you have to take as a married couple. There's an oath that you have to take as a serious couple. You don't share your business outside the house, period. No matter how mad you get. And any woman that can't swear by that oath doesn't need to be, she's a loudmouth. She's for the streets, okay? If she got to blab her mouth and talk, she don't know how to stay home and keep it quiet and hold her temper and not share our family business, then she's for the streets. You need to get rid of her. And so why would I bring a woman in that basically has an open hole, an open line that she can always run off and blab her mouth to some man and his family, by the way, because she still might have a good relationship with his grand.
So, you know, hopefully, guys, this is some real stuff here. All right, we talked about a lot. I recapped before, but now I'm telling you what. If your woman has a child by another man or other men, those men are always going to be part of your life. Whether her child is telling them your business in your house, or whether your woman is telling those other men your business in your house. What you're dealing with is loose lips. You see what I'm saying? You always got somebody that knows where you are, where you going. Anytime you want to go somewhere with your family, that other man is supposed to know where his child is. So by default, he knows where you are and what you're doing. And so this is no way to operate a family. So this is just another reason why dating a single mother is not a good idea. I'm not saying some of you all have done it. Some of you haven't. I've done it a couple times, and I'm just telling you, it's not a good idea. And hell, my ex-wife and my child's mother is a single mother, and I know what my choice. So I know what this man is, where this man is, and what he's doing with my kids. When they go to Disneyland, Disney World, I know. When they go here, I know. When they go overseas, I know. And so, I mean, and I'm looking at it from this side, so I know I don't want to be the person on the other side. But in the meantime, we got 182 people in the chat room. And we got 141 likes. Go ahead and get the likes up. And you guys, look, if you appreciate what I'm doing, make sure you contribute to the super chat. Matter of fact, go ahead and do it now. Let's get the contributions up. I'm giving you arguments that I know you haven't heard concisely like this in this rant. And so we'll talk about it, but go ahead and contribute to the super chat. Make sure you show your support by doing that. Contribute to the Cash App. The Cash App is here. And look, fellas, it's not just about when people tell you stuff like, oh, mature men and, you know, blah, nah, hell no. And I'm going to talk to you guys about helping people out when they've made mistakes and versus helping people out when they've committed immoral acts and they're suffering the consequences from that. Basically, having children outside of marriage is something you're supposed to suffer from, okay? Getting a divorce and having to raise your children is something you're supposed to suffer from. And that goes both ways. And I've been on both ends of those. Getting a divorce and having to basically sacrifice 10 years out of my life being daddy. Now, I made myself love it. I enjoy my children. They're to the point now they're damn near grown. And so, you know, I can get back to doing things and even stuff like this. But before that, on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, I'm at the house. I'm not going to the day party. I'm not hitting the club because I got kids and I don't have a wife to take care of them. And then I got a baby mama, and the issues that I have with her, parental alienation, child support, custody battles, all of that different stuff comes along. I don't expect somebody to come in and save me from my mistake. I don't expect some woman with a whole lot of money and a bunch of maids and servants to come in and just whisk me away. Matter of fact, you guys wouldn't even expect that from a man, but women expect that. So that said, in addition, you know, having to deal with the other men that my exes deal with because they're dealing with my children. I don't wish that on anybody. But what I'm saying is nobody's supposed to come in and save me from that. It's supposed to cost me. In the inverse, nobody should be coming and saving these women. You're not obligated to do it. If you do it, then you know it's some stress associated with that. But make sure you contribute to the super chat, fella. Shout out to Randall. I want you guys to show your appreciation through your contributions. Let's go.
Grandmother or his mom, the baby daddy's mom or sister or whoever. Of course she does. Those are his aunties. They all get together at these baby showers and birthdays and stuff. She's still gonna have to go to all that, no matter what she says. That's what women do. They communicate, and I can't have that. I need her friends to be my relatives. I need her friends to be her family to be my family. I need my family to be her family. I need to know all these people. I need to know who we can talk to, who we can't, who I can bring into my business and who I can't. That's the type of family I'm looking for. You can't get that close knit if you got loose children running around here all up in your house like that, man. Not and build an empire. You could build a sinking ship with that. And I'm not talking. I've said nothing about sex, emotion. I ain't talking. I don't care about that. You know, I'm not concerned about some kid knocking on the door while I'm trying to, you know, get mine in at 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't care about that. That's not what I'm interested. I'm interested in making money. I'm interested in power. I'm interested in influence. This is the perspective that I'm coming from. And when you have someone who's a child mother, unless she's bringing a whole lot to a table, like you're marrying somebody who is, my God, who's, you know, worth $100 million because of divorce, or her husband's a widow, or she comes from this great family or something like that, then maybe financially it's worth it. You can overlook those other things, because most likely you're going to have a maid anyway. So it won't matter. You ain't really raising the kid anyway. You on one side of the house, you just have a different kind of relationship. But at least it's understood that you're definitely not carrying that child financially, and both parties are bringing something to the relationship. But for the most part, man, if you got some woman and she's making less than $300,000-$400,000 a year and she got a kid, it's like, it's not worth it. You know, I don't care who it is. It's just not worth it. You know, it has to be in an abundance of financial resource. I'm talking about millions of dollars, you know, for it to be worth it financially for somebody like me because I can see I can look at the bigger picture. My children will benefit. I'm definitely not going to be paying for this other kid. There's some financial benefit, and at the end of the day, it's going to help me and my family and my children. You're still going to have that loose lip thing. You're still going to have, she's going to have access to calls, a reason to talk to some other people from some other families. But I can kind of see around that because the money is worth it. So this may be a different take than a lot of people take, but this is where I'm coming from. You know, this is where I'm coming from, not just from a legacy standpoint and from a business standpoint and from a practical standpoint. It just doesn't make sense for an up-and-coming young man or established man to deal with a woman who has children by other men. It just doesn't, unless she's very wealthy, period. And this cuts across the board. I'm not just talking about any one race of women. I'm talking about all women. I've dated women from different races with children, and I'm telling you, it's the same issue. As a matter of fact, dating women from other races with children, then you got the cultural conflict. You know, when your girl is white and her child is white and the baby daddy is white, that's some cultural issues right there, and a little sprinkle of racism going on in there. You know what I'm saying? Latinas, even if you dating a woman and she's Latina, her ex is Latino, or maybe he's black or whatever, you got issues with that too, man. You know, you got cultural issues. So it just, you know, dating black women with other, you might got a dude that she liked thugs when she was young, and then she got a thug baby. And you know, now you might be boxing this dude in your front yard at some point. You see what I mean? So it's best just to be clean with it. Get your new woman with no children, without all that baggage, if you can. That's my suggestion to you, fellas. All right. So this is all I have to say about that, man. I look forward to the comments. There's a lot more I could talk about, but you know, I think you guys get where I'm coming from. I'm not. With me, it's not an emotional decision. It's definitely logical and feasible. And some of you might be saying, you know how you got 3 kids, so you gonna date a woman with no kids? Yeah, pretty much. Now, I know it's hypocritical, but that's how the game goes, man, because I'm expected to pay all the bills. I'm the owner. I'm the provider. I'm the financier. So I write the rules. And I know that's harsh, and some of you don't like that, but I'm not, I said, when you, and see, now I'm about to go off into another tangent. When you control the board, when you control the infrastructure, you set the rules. You make the money, you got the house, you got the houses, you got the business, you make all the rules. And I'm not really willing to date a woman who has children. I'm definitely not willing to marry a woman who has children, unless she's bringing something very tangible to the table, i.e. money, or some asset that I could not otherwise get. Well, maybe she has some family with some land or something like that. Or they own banks, you know. Maybe something as simple as, you know what, I can marry her and I can get my papers to live in another country, which will allow me to be a citizen of that country, and then I can buy land cheap. I can use my American money to buy, you know, 20,000 acres of land in Colombia. Maybe so. You know, I have to weigh that out. But my whole point to you all is, I know it sounds hypocritical because I'm a man who's been married, who has 2 different women with children and 3 children altogether. But I'm not willing to date a woman who has kids. It's because I still got to pay for that kid. And I still got to deal with the fact that you got another man who you might be telling information to. And if not him, then his family members. And that's not how I operate. I keep things very secure as far as what information goes out and what information doesn't go out. It's a business that you run. Your marriage is a business. Your household is a business. You got to run it like a business. You don't want to have loose lips around it, but you got to have a problem. And that's pretty much as honest as I can be. But, you know, like they say, you pay the cost to be the boss. If you're willing to do that and you're willing to run the house, fine. You know, I know a lot of ladies don't like me saying that, but it is what it is, you know. And I don't mean to offend you. I'm just telling you, looking at it from a man's perspective who's really thought about this, it doesn't make financial sense. It's not logical. You guys got to go ahead and contribute to the Super Chat, Cash App, and the PayPal. I want you guys to do that to show your appreciation for this rant and the time that I am taking to talk to you guys and answer all the questions. I want you guys to tell me I'm wrong. And I've already hit all the issues. People will say, oh, you're hypocritical for not dating a woman with children. And I used to think men with children should date women with children. But then I started dating women with children, and I realized that people don't raise their kids the way I raise my kids. On top of that, people don't have the time, money, or resources to put into the raising of their kids that I have. So in effect, if I got $1,000 set aside for my children's budget, and I have 2 or 3 children, that means I got to take money that I was going to otherwise spend on my children for this particular time period on yours. And you're going to be coming up short. And if I don't do it, then it's a problem. And so I can see the conflict already. Anybody can see the conflict already. And it's not even worth doing it. If you're a man and you afford, and you're going to be the one financing everybody's lifestyle, period. And that being the case, you write the rules. If you know, he with the gold writes, you know, when you got the crown, when you pay the bills, you dictate the rules of the house, period. And that's why I tell you guys, wait till you get established in your late 30s, early 40s, shit, damn near 50s for some of y'all, excuse my language. But that's at that point, you begin to call the shots. Hey, look, it's my house. You welcome to come in here. But what we're not going to have is some other kids up in here. You see what I mean? You don't like it, you can leave. You basically get it like that, man. You paying all the bills. You paying all the bills. You call the shots. That's how this works. You understand? And that's why I want you men to be men. You don't have to rush out and get married at 20. Why? Why would you get married at 20 when you can wait till you're 45 and then date a 20-year-old? or 22-year-old, 23-year-old. There are always going to be new 20-year-olds, 22-year-olds, 25-year-olds every day. A million of them are born. Okay. So what I'm telling you is you don't have to rush into that. There's no rush. Establish yourself first, because what you're doing is you're establishing your power base. You're setting you building your house on stone, on a stone slab, and nobody can come in there and knock you off your castle. You see what I'm saying? So it's greater later. Wait, if you want to get married. If you don't want to have children, don't get married. But the bottom line is a way to do it and a way not to do it. But again, when you have the money, you call the shots, period. And look, let me tell you something. The secret about getting married is that you want to already have everything that you're going to have before you get married. So you do it at like 45, 50 years old. Then you get married. Then there's nothing for her to take because you've already had everything. You got that prenup saying, I had this, and this. There's nothing for you to take, man. And this all you can get is a little bit of this interest that we might have. And hell, we might spend that on other stuff. So there's nothing for you to get. But y'all contribute to the super chat, the cash app. You know, I've told you all the different reasons. I can't love your kid like you want me to. I can't love him like his dad. My best advice to you ladies is this. Go back to your baby daddy if he'll have you. And for those of you saying, oh, he cheated on me. Well, you know, the truth is you probably cheated on him too. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure you cheated on him. For those of you say, oh, he was abusive. The truth is you probably abusive to him too. Probably both physically and emotionally. So you can't lie to me. I already know. I know. Okay. So any excuse, you don't want to go back to him just because you don't want to go back to him. But he's the person who can best help you take care of your child. Because, you know, I mean, I don't want to. And I mean, there are plenty of guys out there. And look, ladies, I'm just talking for men that feel the way I feel. But as far and specifically in the Black community, there are so many guys with low standards. I mean, Black men are notoriously known for having extremely low standards. I just happen to be one who has high standards. And so you're going to be able to find somebody who'll take you and your children, child or children. You'll find that guy. I'm just saying somebody like myself, I'm looking at it logically and I can't do it, you know, and there are other guys, maybe we're in the minority, but there are other guys, men, Black men, Hispanic men. We just can't do it. You know, it's just, it makes no sense, you know? So, and I'm not saying I won't change or I won't evolve. I'm just saying, as I look at it right now, it makes no sense, ladies. And I don't mean to hurt your feelings. I'm just being honest with you. I'm speaking to you like your father would speak to you. I'm speaking to you like your brother would speak to you, your uncle, or somebody who actually loves you and cares about you. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm telling you how I feel. Will I have a relationship with a woman with a child? Of course I will. But will I take it seriously? I don't know. What do you mean by serious? Getting married? No, probably not. Will I give you some money every now and then to buy some gifts for your kid? Well, I'll pay your rent. Yeah, sure. But I know that I always have one foot out the door, honestly speaking. I'm just there for however long it lasts. I'm not going to commit fully. And then I'm going to go back to my life, you know, because unfortunately, when you have a child by another man, you kind of, the package deal is not something that I feel is worth it. You know, I can get better rates somewhere else. You understand? And I know that's harsh to say, but why would I marry this woman who's a 29-year-old with 2 kids when I can marry this woman who's a 29-year-old with no children? This makes better sense, you know, or 24, whatever your age limit is. I don't know. But I love you all. God bless you. I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but I want to be truthful and I want to be honest with you because people who love you will tell you the truth. People who lie to you and make you and tell you things that you want to hear, they don't really care about you. They just want to use you. And I'm not trying to use you. I want to be honest with you. And this is my calling. So God bless you all. I love you. This is Uncle D. I hope you have a blessed day. Ladies, don't be hurt. Don't be offended. Again, there are plenty of guys out there that'll take you and date you if you have children. I just don't think that, you know, it's fair to people like me who've established themselves, who've made money, who sacrifice, who have their own children raised, who have empire that they want to build, that they're building. I don't think it's fair to somebody like me. That
That was the kinder, gentler Uncle D. I don't want to hurt your feelings. You see how I dropped my tone? I don't want to hurt your feelings. I hope this doesn't make you upset. Blah, 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 blah. Well, anyway, fellas, I want you guys to come in here and let's talk. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I missed something. Tell me something. I want to hear what you guys think. The link to the chat room, the link is in the chat room. You can come on in. I want to hear what you guys have to say. What are your thoughts on this thing? In the meantime, I need you to contribute to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. And also hit the thumbs up button. Let me know you appreciate what we're doing. Hit the thumbs up button right now. I want you to go ahead and do it. Let's go. Hit that thumbs up button. Y'all can start right now. And also, let's do contribution time. Let's do it. Hey, what's up, everybody? If you appreciate the format and you appreciate what we're doing here, then make sure you contribute to the Cash App. Make sure you contribute to the PayPal. Make sure you donate to the Super Chat. It's only you and your contributions that keep this thing going. Hey, if you're enjoying the content here at Dennis Sperling Unfiltered, make sure you support it by sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And also, hit that little notification bell in the corner so that you'll get notice of each and every one of our live feeds. The only time Black men are allowed to speak is when it benefits others. So, hey, this is your opportunity to speak. I want to hear from you. And if you want to make this voice louder and clearer, then what you need to do is contribute to the Cash App, the PayPal, and the Super Chat. Hey, what's up, everybody? If you appreciate the format and you appreciate what we're doing here, then make sure you contribute to the Cash App. Make sure you contribute to the PayPal. Make sure you donate to the Super Chat. It's only you and your contributions that keep this thing going. Thanks. All right. I also want to show you guys again how to join the membership, because really a lot of the really good videos, I think all the videos are interesting, but some of the ones that are real poignant, the ones that say, make you say, yeah, that's right. Those are going to be for members only, and I do that because I got to show my membership love. And so the way the way you become a member is simply go to the section marked, let me move the screen out the way. I want you guys to be able to see it. Go to the section marked join, which is right here on the screen, right? You got this, we got 201 likes. Go to the section marked join, click this button, and then pick which one. You can be Young and Hustling for $19.99 a month, Ballin' $44.99, and Rich Rollin', which is where the real good stuff is. So that's how you become a member. So go ahead and do that. And, that way you don't miss out on some of the more important topics that you can use to help put money in your pocket and help contribute to your bank account. In addition to that, it's good stuff, keeps things going. So, you heard my reasons for why I don't think dating single mothers is a good idea. Now, again, there are men, especially Black men, who will date women with children. Why? Because the brothers got low standards, and that's not something that we all know it. And so it's not knocking you out the block for every man. You can still get married, but what it is doing is letting you know that a certain caliber of men are not going to entertain that. So just keep that in mind. But for the most part, I'm giving you guys some good reasons. What are the reasons we talk? What reasons, you guys in the chat room, what reasons resonated the most with you? That's what I want to know. Tell me which reason resonated the most with you. Is it because you're being honest with yourself and you know that you can't take care of another man's child like you can take care of your own? Is that one reason? Is it that you know that children lie? Children lie, and you could be the person that ends up doing 20 years in prison or having to register as some sort of offender because, a child lied on you, and of course, everybody's going to believe a child, even though we know 13, 14, 15-year-olds commit drive-bys. 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds get pregnant. 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds sneak out of the house. We know that. And we know what children do. We know, we call them children, but hell, they're culpable. That's why we have kids that we charge as adults. They commit murders. They do all kinds of stuff. So,
you know, all I'm saying is, you know, is that one of the reasons somebody said all the reasons you stated were valid? You know, I'm just saying, guys, there are lots of reasons, and I want to make sure that you those things resonate with you guys. I want to make sure you hear that out. But for those of you guys who appreciate what I'm doing, I've been trying to get you. I guess y'all don't want to come in tonight, so if you don't want to come in, that's cool. I'll talk about a few other things that I had in mind. If you are going to date a single mother, make sure you live in a jurisdiction. Make sure you don't live in a jurisdiction that can't hold you responsible for being that child's father if you take on the parental role, if you take on the fatherly role. Okay. You know, because oftentimes you leave that woman, but you've been living with that woman for 4 or 5 years. That child might say, well, that's the only daddy I've known. And you holding yourself out as the dad, you going up to the schoolhouse and, oh, you the new daddy and all that. Oh man, Mr. Jenkins is the daddy. Mr. Smith is the daddy. Even though you and that child don't even have the same last name. You've taken on the parental role, so you got to be careful of that. So, you know, this is, my man Jabal said, if both man and woman have children and each are financially stable, then it may not be a problem. So the problem is, Jabal, what if you are still responsible for paying for those other children? So where is that money going to come from? Money is not infinite. We know that. So let's say you got $1,000 to go to Disneyland. And you have 2 children and she has 3 children. And you got to pay for it. So you're going to pay for all of those children to go, even if you don't. You could spend $500 on each one of your kids. But because you got 5 kids to pay for, you can only spend $200 on each one of the children. So you're basically neglecting your children by 150% of what they should have, i.e. the money that you spend. And on top of that, if you have 5 children to deal with, as opposed to just 2, that means you can't spend the time and energy you need to spend with your own children because your time and energy is being dispersed amongst 5 children instead of your 2. So it's not just about money, but it's also about time and energy, which are all finite resources. So think about that, man. Just think about that. I mean, just think about it. See, the time and energy I spend on my kids, man, I would, if I had to do that for 4 or 5 different kids all at once, especially mine that weren't mine, I mean, I wouldn't do it. Because I'm like, man, you sacrifice so much as a parent when you're really down and dedicated to it and you really all in. You give it all. You know, you give it all, and what would end up happening is you'd run yourself thin. And here's the crazy thing about it, at least for your own children, you get the benefit of saying, that's my seed. That's an extension of me. Those are my children. My ancestors will flow through me into my children. We will live on into the future. What do you get from spending 4 or 5 years helping some woman raise her child until he's 11 or 12 years old, and then y'all break up and she get back with her baby daddy who just got out of prison? What do you get? What do you get when you raising a child and now you can help you got her first car, you've been raising her since she was a little girl, you help her get her first car, you help pay for that college tuition, you pay for private school, you paid for the prom dress, you did all that, you help her get out of college, you help her get an eye, you use your contacts to get her and all that. And then when it's time to get married, she wants her biological father to walk her down the aisle after you paid for the marriage. So what do you really get? Because at the end of the day, that child belongs to another man. No matter what you say, that child belongs to another man. So you don't even get credit for it. BGS was here the other night and he told y'all it was black men in the 1970s and 80s and 90s that saved the black community. What did they do? Those men picked up, stopped what they were doing, and married all those single mothers that popped up in the 1960s and 70s with all that free love. They saved the black community. The reason you even have an X generation and some of these millennials is because black men said, well, we'll go ahead and bite the bullet. We'll marry these women and we'll take care of these single mothers. But look what credit they got for it. They don't even get any credit. What do the women say? We strong, independent. The same women that marry these stepdaddies will tell you we strong, independent, and don't need a man. They'll tell you black men ain't spit. They all the time they were dealing with these stepdaddies and these men and were helping them raise these other children. They had shows like Sally Jesse Raphael. They had movies like The Color Purple. Oprah Winfrey was talking reckless about us. Donahue, all these different things. This is the credit that those men get. And you wonder why. You wonder why these brothers in 2021 are done. I simply just laid out some logical reasons, absent emotion, why I don't think getting married, I don't think dealing with a single mother is a good idea. But anyway, we got some fellas in there. I'm gonna do a quick troll check. Malika, I know you there. KP from KC5, how you doing? Are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm
KP. All right, Electric Thinker and Mr. GG Zero Money. How are you today, gentlemen?
Pretty good. Thanks for having us.
All right. So okay, yes, sir. So we'll start with Malika. Man, what are your thoughts on this thing, man?
This is on point, man. One of the great things about this thing is, man, is making brothers think.
Mm-hmm.
I can count on one hand, how many women I dated that didn't have any children.
Mm.
And one thing I realized when I dated women that had children, I look back, like you said, that simp chip that was in you. I shouldn't have been doing things with women and their children that I shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah.
Paying for their kids, taking the kids on trips and vacations with us, going up to the school with the woman, and the teacher or the administrators thinking that I'm the father or the stepfather. And, you know, I'm just dating this woman. She says, "Oh, can we go by my school? We got to go in there because, you know, it's Parents' Day." And I'm like, "Sure." But I wound up telling a friend, he's like, "What the heck are you going up there for, man? You ain't the father." And he said, "Man, you need to be careful because some of these chicks may be grooming you for a position that you ain't ready for, you don't need to be for." And that didn't click until later on. Like you hit the nail right on the head. Kevin Samuels and BGS said this. You want me to be a father. You want me to feed, clothe, and shelter this child, but can I perform corporal punishment on this child? Can I discipline this child? And that's when the women be beatboxing and hemming and hawing, like, "Oh, then you don't need me."
And what about the fact, and you were a cop or something, what about the fact that these kids lie? You show up as a cop, you got a 14-year-old saying he touched me. You gotta act on it.
Yeah.
You gotta act on it. She could be lying through her teeth, but you gotta act on it.
And you know what the big thing with that is, brother?
Go ahead.
Even if it's found untrue, that man's reputation is still drugged through the mud. And you know, as a lawyer, the investigation is a pain in the neck because you have to understand something. This is the 21st century now.
Mm-hmm.
Just the allegations of sexual assault, especially on a minor, it's crazy. Yeah. You have to deal with investigation. You have to deal with all this other stuff. You have to go to, you know, you have to deal with child services and all this other stuff. And here's the funny thing. A kid doesn't care and the mother doesn't care.
No.
But the thing is, when it all settles down and it's found untrue, you're left there with a bad reputation.
They'll say, "Well, you weren't found innocent. They just didn't have enough evidence to find you."
And that's the thing which you got to be careful with.
Yeah, that's what they say. You weren't found. You weren't declared innocent. They didn't have enough evidence. Like, in other words, we'll get you next time. Even if it is a flat out lie, come to find out, and then you find out when the girl turned 35, her mother put her up to it, or she was mad at you because you didn't give her enough money to go to the show. You see what I'm saying?
Or she just mad at you because the mother's giving you more attention than her.
There it is. There it is. The mother's giving. She jealous because she want her mama back, and she doing anything to get rid of you. Or, you know, or they call the uncles over. He's such, and now you got to fight her brothers and cousins and whatnot, and they're not even trying to listen to you when you take she lying, because of course they're gonna side with they can. That's what people do. And in a case like that, nobody wants to be in error. And so I appreciate that, Malika. So that's another reason you want to leave these women and their children alone. You want to leave send these children, send these women and back to their baby daddies. Let them deal with their biological children. You can get caught up in something, and then you can end up in prison. It's a dude right now in my chat room said he did 20 years as a registered sex offender because of something the little girl said that was a lie, that everybody knew was a lie, but they had to go with it because nobody wants to say these little badass children are lying. All right, but either way, thank you, Malika. KP from KC5, what's up, man? How you doing? And shout out to Rob Sawyer and King J. What's up, KP? Talk to me. What are your thoughts on this thing, man? What about dating women interracially and she got a baby? How about that? Go ahead, hit that math problem. What you think?
I wouldn't recommend it to nobody because I wouldn't recommend it to my son. I have a 17-year-old son. Me and my wife have all three of our kids together. Mm-hmm. We have discussed this years past. And it's funny because I finally came into the black manosphere about a year and a half ago or something like that. But I always thought it was interesting that many of my cousins who would date and marry men would always say those men couldn't discipline their children. And I knew that was wrong then before coming in contact with the content. So just to see it play out now and to look at what's happened over the black community is like, how can you ask me to provide and protect, but I can't discipline? Like, no, that doesn't work. How does that work when he becomes a 17 or 18-year-old?
Right, I'm gonna give you a scenario. Your son has a child, and I mean, I don't know how. Let's say at 25-year-old, your son has a child. They bring that child to your house, and then your son and his girlfriend or wife said, "Well, you can't discipline. We don't want you disciplining our child." What are you gonna tell your son and his girlfriend?
To get the hell out of my house. To get the hell out of my house.
Right.
That's
so now
it's gonna work.
Let's flip the script.
Because
let's flip the script and say your wife brought a baby.
We if we don't go ahead.
No, I was gonna say let's flip the script, and instead of you and your wife having all your children together, your wife brought a child into the relationship. You've had children with you being a father. You've had children with your wife, but y'all also got this other baby, and she's steady telling you, well, the child will be older, but she said, I don't want you discipline little KC. You can't, but you discipline the other children. The other children are looking at you like, well, why you don't do nothing to KC, daddy? Why she get to get away with everything? What kind of hell is that gonna bring to your house?
That brings hell to the house. I've seen family members live that. I've seen family members live that hell. Let me just give you a quick story and then I'll be done.
Yes, sir.
I've seen my grandfather basically take over for my biological grandfather who left my grandmother. And when my grandfather died, the level of respect that the family had for him was less than they had for their real biological father. But this man came and stood in the gap as a stepdad. So when I seen that 2 years ago, before I came in contact with this information, it was like, nah, I would never do it. I would never recommend nobody to do it. And this is over 10 kids. Because you know, back in the day, people had a lot of kids, 10 to 12 kids. So if that's the way that people feel about somebody after they die, they could be your family and they can be whoever they want to be. If that happens, I couldn't subscribe nobody to do it. I couldn't suggest nobody to do it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this stepfather role gives you no respect. You're basically just a maid. You're a butler. You're a chauffeur. You're a yard keeper, and you're an ATM machine. That's all you are. You get no respect. You're mama's sucker, and the children will always see you as mama's sucker. So don't be like that, fellas. I'm just giving y'all. I want you guys to be respected. And let me say it like this, and then we're going to move on to Electric Thinker. Respect is to men what attention is to women. Women will show their whole butts on the internet for the whole world for attention. Men need respect. It makes you a better man when you're given respect. The titles that you earn, the accomplishments, you building yourself up, that's part of being a man. When you're in a situation where you're the man at home, and you don't get the respect you deserve, you'll never be the man you're supposed to be unless you get it from your family and your woman. And those children are not going to respect you like your own children. Your woman is not going to respect you because she's going to always be tied to another man. Even if he's out the picture, she's always going to see her other man's face in her children. And so she's always going to have a special relationship in her heart. And she'll tell you, I don't love him, but I love him. I mean, how can I not love my baby's father? There's always going to be there. So you always going to be second, third, or fourth. Don't be somebody's stepdaddy, man. Fellas, you don't deserve that. You know, respect and love yourself enough to say, no, we're not going to be able to get married. I don't care how good you think she is. You deserve a high level of respect to that. But thank you so much, KP from K5. I'm going to go to Electric Thinker. Thank you so much, Electric Thinker, for your donation. But what would you like to add to this conversation, sir?
No problem at all. But let me start with this. I just want to state that my personal life has been greatly impacted by brothers like you and Kevin Samuels in the Black Manosphere. Even one or two bits of advice that you guys have been giving, specifically you, can have a profound effect on your life. That video you had on how to stop arguing with your child's mother and let your actions speak for yourself has literally changed my life in 90 days.
Tell us about that.
So my ex is a PhD. She works at a university, and it would take an hour to tell you about the disaster, the decisions I made at a point in my life when I was not a man. And she's in her late 40s, and she's the profile of the modern woman. She's angry, and she uses every leverage she can get to drive me crazy. And the sad thing about it, my life has gotten better. My income has increased, my business and everything is taken off. But I used to get angry. I used to respond to everything. I pulled back. I stopped texting. I just, closed the door, and peace is starting to settle in my life.
Yeah, man.
I took my kids to Disney World, just got back. She didn't even know it. I had to prime my 7-year-old. I said, listen, because you just mentioned this in an earlier video. Yeah. Even if it's your own children, you got to tell them what daddy says in this house stays in this house. Men don't run their mouth and gossip.
Right.
And the hate, from people seeing you being successful from an ex, the peace I'm having right now, and it's amazing. That's why I want to tell these guys, man, contribute to brothers like Dennis Sperling. Yeah. This man has what he's given us is life changing if you listen. And it ain't free. This man got a life, a family. Give it to him. You give it to your doctor. You give it to your lawyer if you get in trouble, and you get information that's specifically designed for us as Black men. Yeah, and that's an understatement. So thank you. I appreciate that, man.
No problem. And I'm gonna tell you guys this: if you look at my books, Rules to Live By, How to Maintain Peace of Mind and Happiness in a Conflicted World, I've bet my children and my lovely fiance that at some point after I die, this book is people go, oh my God, this is amazing. My God, where was this guy? Because it's so chock with knowledge and information pertaining to this. Mostly everything that I talk about here is contained. The concepts are contained in this book. If you guys want to get a copy of these books, they're for all three of them. You can get them for $54.99. And normally we throw CDs, the music that you guys used to listen to T-shirts, and all sorts of other stuff in the goodie bag. So go ahead and order the books for $54.99. You can simply pay through PayPal, and I'll get your email address, and we'll have them sent out to you by tomorrow, at least before the end of the week. And we'll send you an email to confirm that. But get the books, man. I promise you, Electric Thinker, it'll all come together with the books. I'm going to do a troll check, and then we're going to get it started. 2003, how are you?
Good evening, Mr. Sperling. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. So we're going to go back. What else would you like to add, Electric Thinker, before we go to King J?
Yeah, and I'll be sure to wrap it up. There's never been any upside. I've been in any of my relationships raising somebody else's child. Here's a recent situation I went through. Now that my manhood has been rising up between you and Dennis, you and Kevin, I'm on another level now, right? Hey. So I had the pleasure of meeting a beautiful young woman. Okay. I'm 47 and she's 28. And
she's too old for you, man. She's too old for you.
But here's what happened.
Go ahead.
I spent a lot of time on the phone with her, feeling her out, coming off feminine, everything. Yeah. So, I went over home to meet her. I get there there's a 2-year-old little girl crawling on the floor with a pamper.
Oh.
And I look at it and I said, oh, okay, I didn't know you had a kid. And she says, she was like, it's okay and everything. I said, hold up, I left something in my truck. And some people ain't gonna like what I did. I said, I left something in my truck. Let me get my wallet. Dennis, I left and I never went back.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Let's give a #1 to Electric Thinker. Everybody get #1 to Electric. Hey, that I respect that straight up. And hey, #1 for Electric Thinker. That's the G move of the week right there.
The consequences ain't worth it. Me and my brother, we got a nephew that I think he's about 28 now. But he got married in a biracial relationship. Not that I have anything wrong with that. But the young lady had a 7-year-old daughter, and she was just out of control. And we should tell him. He said, "Listen, man, are you making the right decision?" I said, "Because this child, this is a girl for one. It's biracial. The mom's white. If something happens, you're just making a bad move."
Okay, so let's fish these facts out. So your friend or relative is black, right?
Correct.
The child's mom is a white woman.
Correct. Right? That's right.
And I'm assuming the child's daddy is black or something like that, right?
Correct.
So
she made an accusation against him.
And she what?
She made an accusation against him. He spent the year in jail.
Oh no.
Before they even went to court. He spent the whole year in jail. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Dennis, I had no sympathy for him because we told that boy, we warned him time and time.
He going to jail. He got to act. Your friend, people got to. Are you serious because of something she said?
And here's what happened. The court let him out if he took the charges and had to register for 10 years. And I told him, I said, man, listen, I'll give you the money. Fight that. Now, 3 years later, the girl I think is about 11, 12.
Yeah.
She finally admits that she lied.
Oh, so it was oh my God. So it was a pedo charge, a pedo.
Correct.
Yeah, see, let me tell you something, man. Like the brother said, them kids don't like you being with their daddy.
Correct.
And those little girls know the power that they have.
Correct.
They already know. And you putting your life you're putting your life in someone else's hands, man. You're literally putting your life in a child's hands.
That's right.
When you go and you start dating these women and their children, you're putting your life. This Electric Thinker, you warned him. His big dumb behind was went in there. Thought he had one of them fine white women. He had that white queen on his arm, and he ended up doing some time for that.
And getting his name cleared is one of the hardest things he's going through. So when I walked out that girl house, I wasn't playing. I said, you didn't tell me that you had a baby, so that either means you're looking for a baby daddy.
You're a liar.
And I ain't dealing with it. I was out.
She's a liar. She showed if they don't, because see that's the new trick too, man. They like got this thing online where they said, well, don't tell him you got a baby. Don't tell him you got a child.
Wow.
That's none of his business anyway, girl. He don't need to know you got that's your personal business. You said, what mother doesn't tell you got a what mother doesn't tell you she got a child unless she's purposely trying to keep it from you. So she omitted to tell the truth about something that's a pertinent fact. She's a liar. So if she'll lie about that or not tell you, you don't know what kind of diseases she got.
Right.
With a 2-year-old, bro, the baby daddy's probably gonna show up.
Exactly. And you said, you just met me. You got your child. You don't know. I could be some crazy man. Where's your thought process?
Hey, look, everybody in the chat room, I want you to hear what Electric Thinker just said. He had a relative and he was dating a white girl who had a child. And that child alleged that there was something inappropriate that happened between that man and that child. And he got put on, he did a year in prison and he got put on a sex offender list for 10 years for something he didn't do.
That's right.
And see, once you get arrested, here's what's gonna happen. They put your black ass in jail. You're gonna take that goddamn plea deal just because you want to get out. They're gonna say, okay, look what you can do. Our case is weak, but that don't matter. We can do time served, and then you can be on a sex offender, plead guilty, be on the sex offender list for 10 years, or you can risk the chance of going to trial, pay your lawyer $70,000. You might get out, or you might get 50 years.
That's right.
So what you gonna do? You're gonna do time served, and I'm gonna just deal with it when I get out. It's once you get them handcuffs on you, and they take you down and they charge you. it's pretty much you part of the system. You're gonna get ate by something. That system is gonna eat your wallet up, or it's gonna take your life and your time. Leave these baby mamas alone. Leave these women and their kids alone. Cause if it's not some little girl saying you did something, when her little badass little son run up on you, you got to knock him to the ground. Now you got a child abuse charge. Now you got a battery, and that's 7 to 10, even if it's a little boy. Especially in places like Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, all the places where Negroes are. So you listen to what Electric Thinker has to say. I'm telling you guys, it's some real hell with them emotions. Anybody on this internet, any one of these YouTube dudes telling you, oh, a real man takes on the responsibility of a job. He wants you to go to prison.
They crazy.
He wants you to be. He wants you to basically take. You might as well get out there and start curb serving. You might as well get you a box of crack rock and roll it up in a goddamn plastic bag and stand on the curb in front of the police station. You waiting to catch a charge. That's what I'm talking about, fellas. It's not worth it. Especially being a black man in America, they already think you're guilty of something. All you got to do is give them a reason. Don't do it. Lead them people. Send those women back to their baby daddy. That's what I'm asking you guys to do. But thank you so much, Electric Thinker. What else you got to add? Then we're going to go to King J.
That's it. Again, man, just appreciate what you guys do. Send me that book, and I support you. And thank you so much, man.
Yeah, man. Just if you want to get the book, man, go to PayPal, and you can just send me an email, or you can pay through PayPal, $54.99, and we'll send it to you immediately, along with some T-shirts. I think we got some T-shirts left, some CDs, and whatever else we can throw in the box to send to you. But that's the way you get the book, $54.99. That covers a cost of shipping and handling. And anybody who wants to book, we have some hard copies left. Otherwise, you can download it from Amazon. But thank you so much, Electric Thinker. I hope you all get the books.
I would definitely buy it. I appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. King J, thank you for patiently waiting. I want to give a shout out. What's the name of the video on how to deal with your child's mother? It's in here somewhere, man. I forget the one, but it's in. You got to just look through got to look through everything, man. I got so many videos, man. You can just look through everything we got. It should be there, but in the meantime, you guys, please hit the thumbs up button and also contribute to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. King J, man, what are your thoughts on this thing, man?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me on.
Yes,
yeah, I just wanted to add to it because I actually I have a stepfather.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and we have a good relationship still to this day. I'm 27 now, so I was probably maybe, I don't know, like 13 or 14 maybe when I met him. I respect him. We have a good relationship, but I would say you should never be a stepfather. I wouldn't do it. Just off of that experience, hell no. I wouldn't even consider it.
Tell us why. Tell us, how was he treated by your mother? How was he treated by your family? How was he treated by your father's family? How was he treated by you? You can be honest. Nobody knows who you are. Let's hear, just go and get it out there. Let them hear what it's like being the child, observing how the stepfather is treated. Go ahead.
So let me break down the background. First of all, my biological father is a drug addict.
Mm-hmm.
And he had drug heads in the house, cooking crack. We seen everything. So my stepfather he saved my life, really.
Right.
I don't know where I would have been if I hadn't met him. I work in IT now.
That's what BGS Idmore was saying the other night. These black men from 20, 30, 40 years ago stepped in and saved the black community. You see, what we have now is black men saying, oh no, I'm not doing that. I see how those men 20 years ago, 30 years ago were treated. I'm not doing it. That's what he meant. That man basically stepped in and acted as a stabilizing force in your life, bringing his money, bringing his masculinity, and teach you. That's what he did. You understand what that sacrifice that he made? You get that?
100%. Yeah. And that's the reason why I say you shouldn't do it, because even though I respect him, I mean, he couldn't discipline me. That's the number one thing. So I just knew it's certain stuff I could get away with because he can't really do anything.
Tell us what you got away with that he couldn't do anything about.
Little stuff, he would like being in high school, he might set a curfew. I got to be home at 11 a.m. I come home at 2:30 at night.
Right.
And my mom is, and I wasn't a bad kid. I wasn't necessarily doing anything bad, but I shouldn't have been doing that. But I didn't have somebody who checked me. And my mom would, oh, it's okay, da da da, and he would just kind of move on from the situation or whatever. You know what I mean? Or try and ground me or something. But it never really turned into anything really like that. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. You're taking on. I don't care what anybody says. Any woman who has kids and the father's not in the picture, she has additional problems, financial problems, psychological problems. You're taking on all of that, and you're probably taking on a woman who's a little bit older. Why not find a younger woman with no kids and no baggage? There's no benefit to you. You know what I mean? I'm not necessarily even saying these women are bad. Some of them, like my mother, she didn't have her father around. So it's just a cycle of, not having guidance. You know what I mean? And that's the case with a lot of women, but that's not, your job is to build your kingdom. Mm-hmm. And like you said, Mr. Sperling, get your money right, get your lifestyle right, and have your kids and groom your kids just like you groom yours. You know what I mean? I see your videos. Yeah. You know what I mean? I have a ton of respect for that. That's what I want to do one day with my kids. But I'm not taking on somebody else's kids and all the drama that comes with that. It just doesn't make sense. So that's all I wanted to add. Appreciate you for having me on.
I want to add another crinkle in that for you. So you spoke about it as the child looking at your stepdad and what he had to deal with. Now check this out. I'm down in the Dominican Republic. This is like 2016. I meet this cute girl. We cool. I get a house. She's saying I got a kid. Like, okay, cool. He lives, my corporation is in the North Coast. Her son lives on the South Coast in the major city, Santo Domingo, with the grandma. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, but I'm not moving down there. I'm staying up here. This is where my business, Coffee King International, is. And this is where I'm going to be. And on top of that, I don't want any children living with me because it's already bad enough that I'm in a foreign country. And now you want to move your child into the house with us. So where's this boy's family? His father's side. Well, his father got married to somebody else. Okay, well, that's cool. But what happens if this little boy starts saying, well, he's not nice to me, he's disciplining me? Then I got a whole bunch of I'm in a foreign country and I got a whole bunch of foreigners to deal with in their territory. On top of that, there's some cultural barriers, some language barriers and all that. I'm not putting myself in that situation. So that's more to the point of a lot of you guys, yeah, I'm gonna go SYSBM, I'm gonna date women from other groups and ethnicities, but you still dating baby mamas though. You see what I'm saying? I know dudes now, they got wives from overseas, but those women have children in their countries. Now those children can't get here because they got to have paperwork and whatnot. But the bottom line, they still have children in other countries. Now let's flip the script. Just like Electric Thinker said, you dating a woman, let's say she's white or she's Latino, and the baby daddy is also white or Latino. That means you're dealing with a cultural issue too. Like, why go from the black race filled with baby mamas and go date a woman from another race who's a baby mama? And now you got to deal, not only do you got to deal with the normal baby mama issues, but you got to deal with the cultural issues associated with you, a black man, trying to deal with some white man's child. Oh, it's some issues. Oh, it's, like I said, it's going to be a little sprinkle of white supremacy racism going on in there. And it ain't that much better when you dating a Hispanic person because they got cultural issues and there's going to be some differences. I'm going to tell you, Latino women are very nurturing to their children. And so they're going to do stuff to their sons, all this affection and emotion, my baby, or probicito, all that stuff. And you're going to be like, man, my mama would have slapped the 3 days out of me if I did. It wouldn't be no hugging and kissing. And then she going to scream and holler at them and maybe throw some chunkletas at them, all that stuff. And then maybe you got a white woman who's very lenient because that's how she was raised. So she got this badass child running off. And you as a black man are going to be like, so now you got the cultural issues that you're dealing with. Who does that? That's kind of what I'm saying. But I want to go on to King J. What else you want to add? And then we're going to go to Jaws 2003. And shout out to Joseph Jones. I appreciate you. What are your thoughts on that, man? Or whatever else you want to add on to?
Yeah, I completely agree with everything that you said. And for all the fellas out there, man, you better off finding a chick that's got no kids, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You need to value yourself in high esteem, and you have the right to demand what you want, and you have the ability to get what you want. And it's really that simple. And anybody who doesn't like it, you know, tell them kick rocks if they don't like, you know what I mean, how you operate. And it's really as simple as that. So that's all I want to add.
Well, thank you so much. Jaws 2003, you've been patiently waiting. Those of you guys who appreciate what we're doing here, make sure you contribute to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. Mr. GG Zero Money Down Real Estate Structure says, sorry, had to get near my modem for StreamYard link. Please, I say single mom is not meant for us single fathers at all. I had big drama with the North American Latino single mom in the past. I'm telling you, like, yeah, the vast majority of you black dudes, you're not going to go overseas. If you date out, you're going to date a white girl or you're going to date a Latina. That's pretty much it. But a lot of them have children outside of wedlock too. That's what I'm telling you. Like, this whole single mother thing is not just germane to the black community. Matter of fact, overseas, if you talk about a place like Colombia, they have a higher out of wedlock birth rate than we do. Now, those dudes might wife those women up, but remember, that's a Colombian man dating a Colombian woman who has a child by another Colombian man, so the culture is similar. What do you do when you step in a situation where you a black dude from Blackistan dating a white girl with a white baby, or a white girl with a biracial baby? You see what I'm saying? Hell, the family probably didn't like the first black dude she dated. Now they don't like your black behind either. So you putting yourself in a pickle. But anyway, Jaws 2003, man, chime in on this thing, man. And what are your thoughts on it? Give us some good information.
Thank you. First off, thank you for having me, Mr. Sperling. Been trying to get on this show for a minute, but my take is this: as a man that's been in a blended family, I tried to date a single mother. I touch on the blended family part first. I didn't like that. I didn't like how my dad was treated when I was younger, because that false accusation thing came up. My older brother was rebellious against my dad, and it was just bad. Like, one time, I never forget this. I was about 8 or 9 years old, and you from the South, you moved to the South, and you know those pecan limbs that kind of get like very brittle, and they're just like almost like powder. So he was joking around with my brother. He was like, come on, son, like, let's go out here and I'm gonna show you something. And then he was like, you need to come on outside. I want to show you this, because my dad was a part of that generation that BGS was talking about, that you know, they took that bullet and they died on that hill for like, okay, we gotta take care of these kids. And so that little stick just went to pieces. He didn't go nowhere. He called my two aunts. My brother called my two aunts. Was like, yeah, my dad hit him. And then they rushed over to the house, and they was like, what a whelp's at? What a whelp's at? And then my aunties cornered me and was like, well, Jaws, well, what happened? And I'm like, auntie, the stick just broke. And like, I was scared at 8 or 9 years old, because I'm like, this is some crazy stuff. And then my mom, my two aunts, and then everybody got into an argument about that. So my brother fell out with my dad, and he was like, I want to go with my biological dad. He went to go be with his biological dad and got worse treatment than what my dad gave him. So I guess he felt some type of way. And after that, my dad and my older brother always butted heads till the day that he died. And then I tried dating a single mother, and I could see some of those same things coming back up again, because the young woman that I was dealing with, she had like her daughter was 2 years old at the time, and my son was 4. And so it looked like the child, and I'm not trying to talk down, but it looked like the child had autism because the child was just 2, and all she could say was no and mama. And I looked at my son couldn't say complete sentences, but at the same time, like, he could say more words. And then I have cousins that are autistic, and they were coming up the same way. And so I was trying to talk to her. I was like, well, have you gotten your child tested for that? And I tried to talk to her. yeah, I took some. She just played it off like, yeah, I took some kind of test. They said that she was, but I don't believe that test because I kind of halfway took it, and I can't rely on them results and blah 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 blah. But I'm like, okay. I'm like, well,
okay. So let's analyze that. What
yeah.
you learned just in that scenario, that you and that woman have two different parenting styles. You clearly, if your son, that's something you're concerned about. Like, my son has, I want to know. Like, I want to, that she don't get it, clearly don't give a damn. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Go ahead, brother. But go ahead. I'm gonna let you go ahead and finish, please.
Exactly, Mr. Sperling. Like that was a big red flag for me, because like on one hand, yeah, you can discipline my child, that's fine, that's cool. But then when it came to something that big, it's like you just playing it off. I'm like, no, like your child needs to get help. The sooner they find this out, the better. Because like you just said, if my child would have been in that situation and had autism, I'd have been like, hey, doctor, what do we need to do? What classes my son would need to take? But you know, luckily he's not like that. Like, he's a very normal child, and I can see how like her child would behave with my son. And my son was very chill, and her daughter would just come up and hit my son for no reason. And then,
but whose side do you choose? Of course, you naturally want to be on your own child's side. So that's another situation. You see what I'm saying? Now I want Vera Denise to join the stream. I think that's an Vaira. I don't know how to say your name, but she says that's why she don't want to date a man with children. And so I want to talk to her about that, and I want her to explain why she, as a woman, doesn't want to date a man with children. But go ahead, Jaws, and finish, and we'll try and get. Man, we're very nice here. You know, we're very respectful. I want to hear why, from your perspective as a woman, why you wouldn't want to date a man, any man with children. So let's get you in here. Please go ahead and click on the link and come on in. You don't have to cam up. We don't need to know what you look like. I just want to hear your perspective coming from a woman. So come on in. Let's see what you got to say. But go ahead, Jaws.
But yeah, like just seeing all of that, and like, you know, like me growing up with my older brother the way that he was, and then I have an older sister as well. While she was more accepting of my dad, there were some things that happened, like when he got sick with cancer, that you know, I didn't like, and it was kind of like, well, I was on my own, and that honestly strained our relationship, honestly, to this day. Like, it was some stuff that you know, we never bounced back from because of that, and also some stuff regarding my son. But on this topic, yeah, I don't think it's a good deal, because it's like you're expected to provide for those kids that the woman has. And then at the end of the day, when that's all said and done, you ain't my daddy, or I want my real father. And it's just, they just give you a behind the kiss. And then a lot of the times the mother sides with their kids. It's kind of like that back and forth battle. And I don't like that.
Yeah, I can understand. I appreciate that. So we got Vera Denise. She's somebody I asked to come in. I want to hear the woman's perspective on this. Got them going. Just send me an email, send me a commercial that you may have, and we'll talk about it. But because you've done all these other things, you know, just I'll even entertain that for you. But just go ahead and send me an email. You got my email is at the bottom of the screen, and we'll get a commercial together and we'll do that. But in the meantime, I want to invite a lady in here. Vera, am I pronouncing your name right, Miss Denise?
Yes, you do. Hello.
Okay. Welcome to the conversation. Now, you said here earlier that, I want to make sure, you say you don't want a man with kids. Please explain your position there.
Because I don't have kids yet.
Mm-hmm. How, if you don't mind me asking, ma'am, how old are you, more or less?
I'm 35. I'm from Amsterdam, Europe.
Okay.
I'm a black girl. My English is not so good, but I will try my best.
No, that's fine. Go ahead. We get you. We understand what you're saying. Go ahead.
I think maybe I live in a fantasy land. to say I don't want a man with kids. I dated men with kids. I dated a guy, and he had a son. And it was a little bit difficult to raise the son together because you always have this, not always, but in my experience, a bitter baby mama, a child that you're not a mother, so it's a little bit difficult with young children. So I don't date men with young kids.
When you say young, what do you mean? Under what age is young?
I prefer to date older kids, like 20.
So you want a man, you would only date a man with grown children is what you're saying.
Yeah, for me it's better because there's always issues, family issues, family drama, you know, in my opinion. I've seen it.
Okay. So let me kind of change it. Well, I got a few questions about the guy. The man you were dating, you don't have to reveal his name. What did he do for a living?
He how do you say it in English?
What language do you speak?
I speak Dutch. No, it's very very easy. He's a garbage man.
So you dated a garbage man with a kid. How old was this kid?
The kid was when the kid, I think 6.
He was 6. And if you don't mind me asking, what do you do for a living, generally speaking?
Yeah, I work for myself. I do counseling.
Did you make more than the garbage man that you were dating in money or whatever?
At that time, I had a rough period. Wasn't working that much like now, but I think yes, I made a little bit more than him. Yes, for sure. He wasn't on my level. I know that.
Right. Well, so even at the time you were dating this man and you had a rough period and you weren't making a lot of money, you still made more than him. Is that correct?
Yes, a little bit. Yes.
Okay. So for the most part, and how old was this child again? Did he have 6, 7? How old was this child?
6, 7. Yes, that age when he came.
So is it fair to say that his money, his resources were limited?
Yes.
And so did you ever at any time have to spend money on this child or to help him with his bill?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Okay. So was that issue and was that disappointing to you at all? The fact that you didn't?
Not really. Not really. It's not really the money. That wasn't really the issue. The issue was more the dynamic between the mom and the dad, the family, the baby mama, the father that the father saw me, put too much responsibility on me, and it wasn't my child. And
so the garbage man had you helping take care of the child, and you had to pay for the child. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you were having issues with the baby mama also. Is that correct?
Not really. I didn't. They had a toxic relationship, you know, and for me it was very emotional and difficult. The way how they fight and talk to each other.
So you saw them in person together fighting, or did you hear them on the telephone fighting, or was it text message?
On the telephone, on text. When we bring the child back.
Okay. How was this garbage man that you were dating?
He is 40, 41. Yes, yes.
Dating a 40-year-old garbage man that you make more money than that has a child and he's arguing with his baby mama. That was the scenario. And how long did you date this gentleman?
I dated him. It was, I think, 6, 7 years.
So you dated him. You're how old? You're 35 now. How long? When did you break up with this gentleman?
I think like 3 years ago.
So you dated this man from the time you were 25 until the time you were 32. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And then in my around 32, I wanted a child, and I felt like, you know, I got this connection with him, and we can help each other. And then when I saw the situation with him, I got scared.
Okay.
To make a child for him.
Now you're in. You say you're in Scandinavia. Or Dutch. I don't know.
I'm in Holland, Amsterdam. You know Amsterdam. You heard of Amsterdam?
And I'm basing this on your icon. You look as though you have some African or Black heritage in you. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm a Black girl. I'm light skinned.
Right. And so the man you were dating, was he also Black, or was he Nordic? What did he look like?
He's also a Black guy.
He was also Black. Was his baby mama Black also?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys got a ratchet mess going on up there. Here's what. Now I'm gonna.
It's almost the same, like in the state. That's why
that's what it sounds like. Y'all got a New York borough, Brooklyn, Bronx mess popping off in Dutch. White people gonna put you out of their country, bringing that mess. But here's the thing. I want to challenge you on something. Let's say your boyfriend of 7 years wasn't a garbage man. Let's say he was a neurosurgeon, and he made the equivalent of $1 million American a year. Would that have changed the scenario for you?
Money can heal things. Money can heal things, but not everything.
So is that a yes?
It depends also on the situation, because I've dated guys, maybe not with $1 million, but with more money than I used to. And if the connection is not there, you can fake that for money.
Okay, well, clearly the connection was there because you dated a guy for 7 years. I'm just adding $1 million a year salary onto that connection you already had. With that million,
it would make it much easier. Maybe I would still be around.
You'd still be around. So that's kind of the point I'm getting at. So he's able to hire a maid, he's able to hire a nanny. The reasons that his baby mama was mad at him would probably fade away because he could pay her. You guys would be living behind a gated community. So no matter what she said, it didn't matter because she couldn't get to anyone. And so my idea to you is think about this. And on top of that, you would not have to come out of your own pocket to pay for this other man or to pay for this woman's child, which would end that frustration. And so here's the thing I would want to present to you. You said earlier, you made a flat statement, I don't want to date men with children, but now you've stated you'll date a man who has more money. Do you see where I'm going here?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so basically it's saying you have a price.
Yeah, I think I should have a price.
You do have a price. Well, most women have a price. And there's nothing wrong with saying, I can be bought. Matter of fact, if he makes $1 million a year, he can have a child because that money is going to insulate me from a lot of the problems. Here's the point that I want to make with you, Ms. Denise. It's different when a man is dating a woman and he has children, as opposed to a woman who's dating a man and she has children. See, the man, there's an expectation that that man is going to pay for those children, even if they're yours and not his. You would agree with that?
Yeah, there's an expectation of men, but go on. I have different views on, let's say, if I would be a single mother, I think I would try to make it work with the father of my child. I think.
Well, that's a smart.
Try to marry him, see him like my husband, because I think it's going to be very difficult for me to maybe get in another relationship with a kid.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, hopefully when you do get another relationship, if you do date a man with a child, he'll have more money, and and you won't have to help pay for that child, and he won't be a garbage man. I don't see, you look like a very beautiful woman. You haven't put the camera on, but why would you date a garbage man in the first place?
Yeah, I can, because
at 25 years old, you start dating this garbage man. Why? Is there a reason why?
Yeah, I think I was young.
What did you like about him?
I looked at. Excuse me.
What did you like about him?
A lot.
Name one.
Actually, yeah.
Five things
It's
that come
very
to mind you liked about him. Go ahead. Let's go.
very cliche, but I used to be a singer, and he also make music. So that was the first thing I liked about him. And
the first thing you liked about him, where did you learn that? When did you learn that he could sing and that you were singing? How'd you learn that?
How I get to know him?
Yeah.
I used to sing for this record label when I was younger, and then that's how I met him. And then he helped me with a lot of songs.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, he was like supportive, romantic friend.
Like a dog or a puppy or something like that, right?
Not like a puppy.
Mm-hmm.
He was supportive for me.
So, sweetheart, you kind of let that man waste 7 years of your life. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. But I did it. I let the man do it, but I did
the second wall at 30, and he went on back to his business of dumping trash, and he probably got another woman that's 25 years old wasting her time. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So, but no, I understand your point, and I appreciate it. It sounds to me like you got a raw deal. It sounds to me like you just picked a bad one, and you needed somebody like a father type or a father figure saying, leave the garbage man alone. Leave that garbage man for the trash women. Let's send him back, because he didn't have enough money to take care of you and that child. At the point where you're helping him take care of his child, then he's an impediment. I'm just going to keep it one. I'm of the position that men should pay all the bills when they're in relationships, or they shouldn't be. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not anything. And somebody said Dennis is getting his cake. I'm not, man. I'm not on Kevin Samuel's level. I'm looking at this young woman like this is clearly a beautiful woman, and she basically gave 7 years of her prime years to a loser. That's basically what she did. Who she was paying, she was basically paying him to be around. What she got in return was not exchange, but it's different, Denise, when it's the man who has children. He should be paying for everything. Now, if you had a child, I could guarantee you that I would not be able to do for your children like I do for mine, because the calling wouldn't be there. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's just, I get it. There's some women that say, I can never date a man, but you yourself admitted you would do it if you made enough money. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, in that situation.
Yeah. All right.
I would say yeah.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. It's good I love when ladies come in here and they're honest. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Well, look, I'm going to go ahead. We've had a very interesting conversation. I had a lot of people in here today. I think everybody has had a chance to speak, and we're already at 2 hours here. You guys go ahead. All I need is 3. Look, I need like another 20 people to subscribe to the channel, and I will hit the 420 mark or the 450 mark or something like that. Last time I checked. But go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Do that right now. I appreciate it. Guys, Malika, Electric Thinker, Jaws 2003, Mr. GG Zero Money, and Denise and J Bones. Thank you all. I appreciate everybody coming. It was great hearing a woman's perspective. I appreciate that. Look, I don't think dating a single mother is a good idea. I just don't. I think you guys, there's too many pitfalls. There's too many traps. There's some legal ramifications, both civil and criminal, because all it takes is one allegation to ruin your life. You're basically putting your life in that child's hand. You heard what my man Electric Thinker said he saw a 2-year-old deal breaker walk crawling around on the floor. He said, I'm going to my car to get a pack of Newports, and never came back. So that's the G move of the week right there, man. I appreciate that, man. Get yourself out of there. You don't know anybody any explanations. If she's going to lie to you, you don't have to be straight up with her. It's cool to bounce and block. In other words, bounce and block her on all social media and her phone. You don't have to answer. But just think about what I'm saying. And look, you ladies out there who are listening, no matter what I say, there are men out there, especially brothers, that have so low self-esteem. They'll date you anyway. But this is for the guys who want to do better. This is for the guys who really pay attention to what's going on. I just don't think it's a good idea for you to date single mothers. You've heard from the perspective of the children. You've heard from the perspective of guys who've been single stepfathers. You've heard from the perspective of guys who practice law, practice law and cops. It's too many pitfalls in there, fellas. That's all I'm saying, man. But anyway, you guys appreciate what you're doing here, man. Y'all make sure you contribute to the Super Chat, the Cash App, and the PayPal. And I'm out.